Hi, everybody. Welcome to the White Belt program. I'm going to encourage you to take a deep breath and sit back. This is the theory behind our White Belt program. And our goal is we recognize you are an overwhelmed observer and we want to get you comfortable and confident so that we can move you on the path to empowered advocate. Now, for the record, the white belt level is our free level, and we focus here on practice, practice, practice. So we have a weekly call where our white belt people are welcome to come and participate. We also have a LinkedIn community where our white belt people are welcome to come and share their insights, ask questions. And if anybody is interested, we'll talk about at the end what our overall program looks like. The reason the white belt is free, and if you're watching this video, you've been accepted, welcome. The white belt program is free for two reasons. One, I want to make 100% certain we are a fit to work together. So that means I'm going to assess you, and I'm watching to see how well you integrate with the program, how well you follow instructions, how you communicate and cooperate with the group. And I also want you to be very, very clear whether or not this is the right fit for you. So this is a two-way street. We're assessing whether you're a fit, you're assessing whether we're a fit. And by doing this, my goal is to oddly eliminate the marketing and the sales effort. And basically, if you like what you see, bring a friend. If you don't like what you see, by all means, reach out to me directly and give me the feedback. We are always growing. We're never constant. This program has taken me 3 years to develop. And by that, I mean, it took me 3 years to learn the expertise to be able to develop it. I know what I know, and I'm quite confident. Where I might have some gaps is understanding what somebody might not know. So there are no dumb questions. In fact, your questions make this program better. So feel free to ask away if something feels mysterious, or my rule is try to figure it out yourself. And if it takes you more than 5 minutes, reach out and ask the question. So I'm going to walk through our white belt program. And this is simultaneously, I would say, the easiest and the hardest belt. The reason it's the easiest is because the material is light. I will show you what you need to do. This is not a one and done. It's about learning the skills, building the foundation so you're confident. So if you've not watched our prerequisite ChatGPT foundations, I highly encourage you to watch it. Even if you watch it double time or you skim through the notes, just understand that in there I walk through what ChatGPT is, how it works, and how to actually use the interface. So if you're feeling lost, again, go back to the prerequisite, or you can ask me the question and I'll guide you to the right place. So I may not jump on a call and say, hey, here's where you're going wrong. What I will do is say, hey, we covered that, here's where it is. So my job, I'm not here as the sole expert in ChatGPT. I'm here as the expert in what I believe the journey should be to take you from overwhelmed observer to empowered advocate. And hopefully you've seen the steps and you understand what I mean by that. But all of us, everybody in my world starts at white belt level. Now, I know some of you're going to want to jump ahead. I would encourage you, even if you want to jump ahead, at least go through and read the notes for each of the belt levels. We do have prerequisites, and you're allowed to advance at your own speed. However, if you advance too quickly and you start to ask questions that should have been covered, I will recommend you step back. Now, the other thing I want to say, there is no pressure here. This is a space designed by an entrepreneur to serve other entrepreneurs. There's no rush. You can do what you need to do, learn what you need to learn. And if you've outgrown a certain level and you think you're ready, if we think you're ready, we will invite you to advance. If you think you're ready, we can have a conversation about it. But The key is the white belt is free. This is the space where you can play, you can test, you can understand, you can learn. This is where you fall on your face, and instead of hurting yourself, we will gently pick you up off the mat and guide you forward. So do not rush this. This is not a, hey, there's a 12-week deadline, you got to finish. The white belt is forever free. As long as I run the program, the white belt is going to be free because I want to save entrepreneurs from themselves. I know most of you are busy, overwhelmed, you've got lots going on. I'm going to try and remove the fluff, and we're going to focus on the practical. What do we need to do next? So I'm going to turn off my camera and I'm going to show you some content. I will be alternating between slides and ChatGPT as necessary. I have a little bit of theory, but for the most part, I just want you to get really, really comfortable using the basic prompt. So we have a prerequisite course. It is called ChatGPT Foundations. That covers the absolute fundamentals of the platform, the interface, basic prompting. It is literally the training wheels for all that we're going to do. It is the foundation. So if you've not taken it, please, I can't stress this enough, at least go through it and make sure you understand the key things there. So right now we have a video you can watch. It's a 50-minute video. You can fast forward to your heart's content. You can watch it at double speed. Learn what you need to learn and move past that which you don't need. So that's the first thing. A lot of questions can be answered by going through the prerequisite. Now, in the near term, that course is also going to be turned into a workbook. So if you prefer to read, you can. We've got the video so you can see the screen and the walkthroughs. I highly, highly recommend you take it. There's no charge for it. Again, I just want to end the misinformation out there and give people tangible, practical things they can use ChatGPT for to grow in their business. Now, I will say I have a small caveat / disclaimer. ChatGPT is a registered trademark of OpenAI. I am not affiliated with OpenAI in any way, shape, or form. I do not receive any commissions or affiliate fees if you sign up with ChatGPT. I personally chose it because it was the best platform for me. And if you want to learn how to use this platform in advance, then that's what this journey is about. Now, people come to me and they want to ask me about other models. They'll say, well, what about this? What about that? This is about mastering ChatGPT. If you want to master something else, I'll show you how to apply this logic, but you're generally on your own because this group is just about ChatGPT. There are tens of thousands of alternatives. I don't want people to get confused. If you know one tool, you can adapt what you know about this tool to other tools. So I'll give you some tips on how you can adapt. Our live calls are Monday mornings right now. They're scheduled at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 11 till noon. And they are open to anybody in our white belt program. We also generally invite our yellow and orange belts to that program. So what we'll do is the first 15 minutes, I'm going to show some skills, techniques, practice for the white belt specifically. And then the rest of the time, I'm going to do about 15 minutes on the yellow belt, 15 minutes for the orange belt. It is about practice, not about learning, practice. So there will be lessons in advance if you need them. You will know what you need to know when you need to know it. I promise I can overwhelm you. I can make your head explode. I don't want to do that. But basically, we do 15 minutes for the white belt, 15 minutes for the yellow belt, 15 minutes for the orange. And once we go through that, we've got about 15 minutes left. Now, times are approximate. If anybody needs a stopwatch and you're going to get offended if I go 16 minutes on one, 14 on another, not the group for you, I promise. but we will make sure everybody has something new, practical, they can practice, they can work on that week. And then the final 15 minutes, I open the floor, and that's my Ask Me Anything. So that's where you can ask me anything. And I would encourage you to show up and ask questions, and not just of me, but of your peers. Because I'm going to be honest, I've been using ChatGPT extensively. I would easily say I've mastered it. I've spent at least 10,000 hours over the last 3+ years. I forget some days what it's like to be a beginner. So feel free to ask other people in the room, say, hey, how have you found this? I will always have an answer for you for your questions. However, sometimes it's better if you hear it from your group. So our group sessions, they're video conference call. Be prepared to come to be on camera and to talk. This is not one of those come and lurk things. I will kick you out if you're not active. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's not very friendly. The reality is we build trust when we see each other. I can read you. I can help you understand. You can show me things. I do have a separate course if you don't know how to use Google Meet. But at the least, you'll need to know how to share your screen. Not always, but that's a useful thing. So that is the logistics of it. And basically the goal is people are going to come, you're going to learn something. You will learn something you can take away and apply in your business. I will show you how to customize it for your business. And then above all, you'll meet other people who are going through this together, and you'll form relationships and friendships. If you're not active on LinkedIn, you can find other ways to connect. I personally am very active on LinkedIn, so if you want support in this program, LinkedIn is where it will be found. For those who know me well, you can probably get away with email once in a while, but honestly, I would encourage all of you, if you've got questions about the program and you don't understand something, ask it on the LinkedIn group, because honestly, if you have that question, somebody else does. Now, if you have feedback for me or you're unhappy about something, you're welcome to email me at any time. I prefer, my mantra in life is praise publicly, criticize privately. So if you have feedback and ways I can improve, usually you'll get a better response via email. Now let's talk about our white belt, and this is where we're at. So I'm going to jump in, and basically this is focusing on the first most critical transformation. And really, truly, my entire goal is to give you confidence to act and prove to yourself initial leverage. Now, if you've looked ahead and you see this, you'll notice that each belt level, as we go from beginner to intermediate to advanced, the fees, the investment go up. And the reason for that, and I'm going to be really upfront, is my expectation is if you choose to advance, it's because you saw the return on investment for being in the program. So if you don't see the return on investment, my expectation is either you're going to stay where you are until you do, or you will reach out to me and I will help you figure out how to improve your return on investment, or you will decide it's not a fit for you and we part ways. I am okay with all three options. Genuinely, I do not want anyone to take an advance and move into the next level until they are 100% confident. If you move forward before you're confident, you're going to be questioning me, you're going to be questioning your investment, you're going to drive yourself and me crazy. So I want you to prove to yourself and have a goal in mind. I want you to gain that confidence to act and to be able to prove to yourself that you are in fact getting leverage. Because if all you're doing is being busy, there's no point in that. You're an entrepreneur, business owner, you're busy enough. And we also have a track. We have one for leaders, so for owners and managers. We have a track for team. Ask me about that one because it's something separate and different. And then we have an actual advanced track for people who are innovators and they're really on the cutting edge and they want to grow. Generally speaking, you need to go through from white to black belt or double black belt in the leadership or the employee before you can get into the advanced innovator track. Now, the other condition is we don't take employees by themselves. If you're a leader in the leader track, your team gets access to the team track. If you're an employee without a leader, I'm sorry, but this program is for entrepreneurs and business owners, not for general skills. So that's a different path. Let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to guide you. So let's get into the specifics and the objectives. So this is white belt, and basically our goals are really, really simple. I want to demonstrate to you that AI is not a threat to you, not a threat to your job, not a threat to your business. It is a new layer of leverage. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of doom and gloom. AI is going to end the planet. AI is going to take over humanity. The reality is AI done well can really enhance the human using it. Garbage in, garbage out. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to generate a lot of garbage quickly. And a lot of people are seeing that on social media. I use LinkedIn. I'm seeing a lot of badly AI created content. It's garbage. The problem with that garbage is it creates a trust deficit. It's harder and harder for people to cut through it. So one of the things you can do is amplify your own expertise. And I call that brilliance in, brilliance out, because if you are a smart person and you know your stuff, AI helps you come across as smarter, more confident, and you can do more useful things. So it is an unprecedented layer of leverage. Now, in our model, we follow insight, clarity, growth, because we need to understand where we are to get clear on where we need to go and then start to take those steps. So for our white belt, the first step is really, really about awareness. And this is where I will teach you, and we love to talk about this all day long. ChatGPT is not typical computer software. You don't need to learn any coding. You don't need to learn a mysterious interface. It is literally a large language model. So basically, you need to learn how to communicate with it. So the good news is if you're a moderately functional human being and you can communicate well, you've got half of what you need to succeed with ChatGPT. The other half is you need to be curious about how it works, curious about what you learn, curious about what you know. Curiosity is the most critical ingredient. So if you would generally say, I'm not that curious of a person, I would encourage you to stop the recording, leave the program. I'm going to annoy the hell out of you. Now, if you are curious, come on in. We're going to have some fun. So the growth step here for our white belt is to give you the confidence to take action and not freeze. I've seen people, they sign up for ChatGPT and then they never log in. I'm going to be honest, my first 3-4 months, I saw it as amusing, mildly entertaining. It was kind of a party trick. And then I didn't spend a lot of time because I was busy and I'm like, oh, I don't have time to learn. That's what I want to do with this program, is give you that quick first action, that first success, and guide you forward. So above all else, the white belt stage is all about confidence. So again, this is a very short module relative to the others. Every single one of them, I have a strict 50-minute rule. I'm going to keep the content to 50 minutes, and then we're going to practice. So I don't want you to feel you have to learn a lot. Typical belts, you can progress as quickly as you want or as slow as you want. My advice would be, at most, try to get through one belt level a month, maybe 2. That way you learn, you practice, and you're confident going into the next. Now, this will get to critical mass because once you're comfortable with the foundations, everything else becomes easier to learn. So in the prerequisite course, it was very much about being passive. When we get to the worried watcher, the yellow belt, you're going to be hands-on a lot. So this particular belt, the white belt, is a bit hands-on and a bit theory. So in our belt level program, we have 5 badges that you earn. And once and only once you've earned those 5 badges, then you can choose to progress to the next level. Now, in true martial arts, there's usually a test. You're adults. I assume you know yourself well. If you feel confident and you say, Jeff, I'm ready for the next level, and you've completed the 5 steps, great, you move forward. If you're not confident or you're not ready to move ahead or you've not found the ROI, then you can stay here until you get there. So the first thing for mindset, and this is all about breaking, open the package and using it the first time, we are moving from I should use it to I have used it. So this is a really easy badge to earn. All you need to do, and let me show you this in ChatGPT. Now, I have it call me professor. There's an inside joke there. You don't need to know it. Mine is called Alice after the song Living Next Door to Alice. It makes me laugh. I'm a child. Don't judge me. Hi, Professor. Oh, sorry. Can you tell me a simple introduction to prove to the world that I have at least used you once? That's simple. Get it to do something. Literally, you log in, you get your free or your paid membership. Yeah. So this one's a little more detailed than you're going to get. But basically, it's confirming I've used ChatGPT at once. Now, for the record, Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, the company that runs ChatGPT, he hates it when people waste time and compute cycles saying please and thank you. My opinion, do what you want to do, whatever feels natural. The way I see it, ChatGPT is a thinking partner and thus an extension of my own brain. So if I'm having a conversation with my own brain and I'm not wasting time on manners, that's a terrible habit. So for me personally, I'm polite to ChatGPT. I don't like saying ChatGPT. It gets onerous, so I named it Alice. You can name whatever you want. But to me, Alice is a coworker, a colleague, not just a tool. Now, I get it. I'm not delusional. I know there's no person named Alice, but I've given Alice a personality. So the homework, you've got this on your screen. I don't care what model you use. I don't care paid or free. Just type in something, proof you've used ChatGPT, and then you click this little share button. And this is important. If you're using this URL up top, you can use it for yourself. So you can make a shortcut, a tab, whatever. You yourself can go back into your account to that conversation. If you want to share it with somebody else, you need to use the share button. And it's great because you can use this copy link. You can share it on X, LinkedIn, or Reddit. I just hit the copy link. It says link copied. And then you can tag me on LinkedIn. In the group, you can just say the mindset task completed. White belt mindset task completed. I'll understand. But the cool part is then I can click in and I can see your conversation. So that's the very first badge, the mindset badge. Now, this is where we're going to start to earn our keep. And basically, I'm going to give you a really, really, really simple dojo. It's the Digital Dojo prompt, and it is basic. Now, anybody who's taken any prompting at all, you're going to laugh at this. You're going to go, Jeff, this is crazy. It's too simple, blah, blah, blah. That's the point. I don't want it to be a big, scary thing. I want it to be simple. So I'm going to teach you our simple three-part prompt. Say that 3 times fast. Role, task, and output. And what you're going to do to earn your skill set is draft one social media post or an internal team email. Now, I want this to be very clear. This should be low risk, low effort. So it's just about you confidently saying, I did that, not about you mastering something. The other thing, I will say this over and over, and if I forget, you guys need to remember, and gals, you need to remember you're the adult. It's up to you before anything you do with ChatGPT leaves your desk and goes to the world in any way, shape, or form. You need to vet it and say, I know enough to agree that this is correct. It is your name, your reputation. ChatGPT lies, it has hallucinations, it makes mistakes. Just like an intern would, just like you or I might, it is open to making mistakes. Therefore, you're the adult, you need to vet it before you release it. So the role task output is really, really simple. Now, one thing I will share, if you're doing multi-line, and this is something I personally hate, but I would change if I could. If you hit enter at any point, ChatGPT uses that as a accepting the prompt, and it starts to process it. So, for example, if I hit enter now, ChatGPT immediately starts to process it. Now, here's the cool thing. There was a little square there. When that square is there, I can click it, it stops. And now I can go up here and I can edit. Now this one, it's weird because once you've done it once, now I have to actually click on send. The enter key doesn't do it. So the enter key gives me blank spaces. So when you're first doing a prompt, you need to hold the shift key and press enter to get a new line. Now, for the record, AI is pretty smart. It can read things differently. I like to make it both human readable and AI readable, so I use some spaces. Now, one of the things, it's called XML language, and this is just to give ChatGPT clarity around what is the role, what is the task, what is the output. So the role, let's go, for example, and be very specific. You are a world-class expert in creating LinkedIn posts, period. Now, this is advanced. You don't need to do it, but I use the HTML. And basically what this means is with the little triangle parentheses, that means open the category role. And then here you'll see I've got the backslash, I think it is, or forward slash, I don't know, forward slash, and then role. And that means, so here is open, this means close. You don't have to do this, but if you're using it in complex ways, this keeps it simple. Now, for the record, I'm showing you this complicated thing in a simple setting so that you can get comfortable with it. When you have a big, hefty prompt, trust me, you're going to want this, especially if you're doing a lengthy conversation. Now, under task, you are going to write a 500-word post for LinkedIn. The audience is entrepreneurs. Are just discovering ChatGPT. The topic is about overcoming fear technology. Okay, now again, I'm going to close that. So it knows that that's the end of the task. Now I'm going to give it an output right in the form of a Shakespearean sonnet using And my grade 10 English teacher thought I wasn't paying attention. There we go. Okay, so what I've done is I've given it a role, I've given it a task, and I've given it an output. The more detail you give it, to an extent, the better. Make it clear. And what I always say is this should be something you could give to another human being and they would understand what you're doing. So as you can see, it followed my role, task, output. And just for fun and to earn this badge, you can post this. Again, I'm only on LinkedIn, so if you're on other platforms, post on LinkedIn if you want, or share it in the group. But this is an easy one to earn because right now you'll notice zero pressure from this. I'm not trying to solve the world's problems. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just writing a poem about fear of technology. And by the way, when you post things, copy it, paste it, and then edit it until it feels like you. In this case, I would probably post this as is, and I would say, hey, got ChatGPT to write a sonnet for me. That way people know that it is, in fact, ChatGPT generated, but they'll also know that you co-created with ChatGPT. One little pet peeve, I hate it when people just copy and paste. I don't care if that's an email, a business proposal, a social media post. If it doesn't sound like you, it is just the average of a whole bunch of AI models coming together. This is 1 trillion data points. There's nothing special about it. You are the unique piece that puts the humanity and connection and the authenticity into it. So it should always reflect you and your brand, not generic blah. So if all you do is copy and paste, you're just repurposing bland material for bland people. And by the way, in business and marketing, my belief is you try to appeal to everyone, you end up appealing to no one. So we want to be clear. So that is how you earn the skill set badge. Really easy, one low pressure round where you use our 3-part prompt. And again, this is a simple exercise. So if you just use role, task, output, okay. I'll teach you some shortcuts and some advanced things. But for a short, simple prompt like that, role, task, and output, and then actually giving that information is all you need. So gear set, mindset, I want you to think about how you think. The skill set, I want you to practice the mental skills, the framework. And then the gear set is how we actually get in and use the tool. So this one is probably the most useful, and it's also the one you're going to come back to over and over and over again. I'm going to ask you to set up and customize your AI workspace using ChatGPT. I will show you how to do that. We're going to configure the customization, and you will, in a perfect world, save a link to ChatGPT somewhere for one-click access. I have ChatGPT as a shortcut on my desktop. I have it as a bookmark in my Google Chrome. I also have it, I'm going to be blunt, it is critical to my workflow. So when I open my web browser every day, I always shut it down and then open it in the morning. ChatGPT is automatically opened. Now, just to give you some context on that, I am 100% integrated with ChatGPT, and entire business I run is using the Google ecosystem. So everything I do literally is managed within a web browser. So there's not a lot open now, but usually I have my calendar, my email, I always have ChatGPT, and then my Google Drive, and in this case, my presentation. So for the gear set badge, you need to, and I believe this is restricted to people who have the paid, and the paid is $20 a month. It's not onerous, but basically, you want to come to your name and face down at the bottom left and click settings and play with this. You can't break it, I promise. You can use the system settings. You can change it to dark. You can change it to light. I know some people have sensitivity issues. They prefer the dark. I just leave the system default. You can change your accent color to whatever suits you and your personality. I don't know why I'm not orange, because that's my favorite color. I let it auto detect language because odds are I'm going to speak English, but that's what it is. Set your spoken language. And then here you can have a little fun. Pick the voice that speaks back to you. I picked Saul, and honestly, I hate change, so Saul it is. And then in here, I've got it set so it'll show additional models. I'll show you what that means, but I have it on because why wouldn't I? Now, the key here, the big one is personalization. And here you're going to enable customization, and you can pick your default. I literally have it set to default, but you can have it cynical, you can have it robotic, you can have it as a thoughtful and supportive listener, or you can nerd out and explore and be enthusiastic. I generally change this tone on the fly, depending on my mood, but it's entirely up to you. And then here is where you might give it some custom instructions. So mine, for example, it calls me Professor. I call it Alice. I tell it to start brief and expand on request. I hate sugarcoating. I don't want fluff. I don't want smoke blown up my backside. Give it to me straight. So for the most part, my default is mode 0, which is 100% candid. If I'm stupid, it calls me stupid. I promise you, not for everyone, it works for me. So you decide what's important to you. I always want accuracy, then clarity, then brevity, then style. Always choose accuracy. So here's where you put your nickname, here's your occupation, here's what you do, and then you can manage memory. I've got it set to reference saved memories. I recommend that. I can reference chat history. Excuse me. So play with these, see what they do. You can't break it. I allow web search. I allow code. I have allowed Canvas. Truth be told, Canvas and I are not friends. It drives me crazy sometimes. It's slightly slower, but for certain uses, it works well. We will get into that. And then there's some advanced voice. So I've got all that turned on, and all you have to do is hit save. And that is honestly exit. All you need to do to earn your gear set badge. Now, this is about community. For those who know me, if you've been invited by me, I am about community. If you don't belong in my community, that's okay, but you don't belong. So we are going to encourage community. We're going to encourage comments, questions, sharing. And the reason I require this is that sharing is how we learn. Now, for the record, most of you can learn on your own. I get it. You're adults. You've gone through school. However, learning is best done in a group where you learn something and then you support someone else. That's how you both learn it. And believe it or not, I firmly believe the best way to learn something is to teach it. And the reason I say that is an audience that you're teaching, they will ask you mind-numbingly annoying questions that you don't know the answer to. And only by teaching someone else do you realize that and remember that you're still learning. So this is not about, writing a dissertation. It's about community and engaging. So to get the white belt community badge, All you need to do is share a question in the community about one thing you're still confused about. Or do you have questions from the prerequisite course? Now, if you're not confused, and I hope so, but believe me, I'm human. I'm not that great a teacher that there's no questions. If you, for some reason, understand everything, have no questions, share your biggest takeaway. What was affirmed that you already knew? What are you excited to discover? Just share a single comment or question in our community. That's it. It's not complicated. It's not hard. It's meant to be simple. So basically, this is where you get a chance to engage and connect. Now, attitude is important. In this case, and I'm going to say this and sound a little bit oversimplified, it's about your attitude to using ChatGPT. Because here's the thing. If you think ChatGPT is stupid, you're right. If you think it's brilliant, you're right. The key is how you approach it, and what you believe reflects what you can do. So I want to encourage you every day for the next 3 days, find one simple thing that you can solve using ChatGPT, log in and solve it. It doesn't have to be complicated. And by the way, I'm not grading your homework. Either you did it and you tell me you did, or you didn't do it. But if you can look me in the eye and say, Jeff, I did this 3 days in a row, congratulations, you've earned the badge. And really, this is about getting you used to and understanding the rhythm. So the rest of our time, I'm going to teach you a little bit about how I use the model itself, but that is the final belt, the final badge. And once you've earned all 5 badges, then you earn your yellow belt, and then you start accumulating the 5 badges, the same 5 badges for every belt. That's when you start to grow in the yellow belt. Now, if you've not already done so, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, welcome, good for you. There is an actual guided program at ferosbusiness.com/digital dojo. Not required to go there, but if you want, that's where you can learn more. Digital-dojo, sorry. So I'm going to use the rest of our time to show you some really basic advanced things with ChatGPT and how to communicate with it better. So first and foremost, I just want to show you, you've seen this interface already, but if you want to explore GPTs and go to others, you can see what's out there. You can learn about Expedia, Scholar. There's trending ones. There's ones that the OpenAI created. There's ones for other productivity tasks and so on. Feel free to explore. Like I said, you cannot break these, just explore. Now going back to our conversation. So here's our conversation we already had. I'm going to give you a few quick tips. Now, if I'm pasting in, and do not do this until you're comfortable, if I'm pasting in any length of context or text, I use triple quotes. So it's just a quotation mark 3 times, and let's pretend I'm going to share that. I put it in, and that allows ChatGPT to understand that this is a contained block of text. So now, can we take the, and by the way, you would not have to do this. I'm doing it just for an extreme example. Turn it into a, I don't know if that'll work as a haiku, but there you go. So the lesson there is that triple quotes, that's a way to keep things separate. The other thing is, if you want to have heading and subheading, you can use the single asterisk for heading and double for subheading. And what that does, we'll see what it comes back with. It's guaranteed it's going to be confused. You can see it's thinking. So now it guessed, and it's decided I wanted a heading and subheading. But what you'll see is when you copy and paste this into somewhere else, like Word or Google Doc, you will see level H1 heading and level H2 subheading from this. So you'll see it's bolded and it's easier. The better you get at formatting things here, the easier it is to copy and paste it somewhere else. So what I would do, for example, is I would highlight this and I right click and hit copy. And then let's pretend I was going to post that on LinkedIn. I would paste it in. And as I said, never paste and hit post. Always read it, make sure it feels like you, looks like you, sounds like you. In this case, I'd give it some context, what have you. I'm going to just X out, but never hit post until you read it and go, okay, it sounds like me, it looks like me, I believe I could say this confidently sounds like me. Now, a couple of weird things I want to point out. This lengthy dash is called the M dash, EM dash. And the reason it's called that is in traditional typeset, it's the width of the letter M. Now, a traditional dash that everybody sees is actually called the N dash, EN dash, because it's narrower, and in typeset, it's the width of a capital letter N. So M dash is wide, N dash is narrow. Now, it is funny, but if you want to incite a riot, use the M dash. It triggers people, and it has been seen as a universal sign that AI is taking over. I'm going to be honest, Shakespeare, Emily Dickinson, some famous writers love the M dash. I personally love the M dash. It's actually, people say, oh, it shouldn't exist because it's not on my keyboard. The reality is, what goes on the keyboard is a common use case. A lot of people didn't use the M dash, only good writers, professional writers. So it was on typewriters, not computer keyboards. So I'm going to be honest, I paste in M dashes sometimes just to trigger the haters so that I know who my people are not. Now, coming back, this is then we switch to acting as a journalist. Okay. This is me being a weirdo and me playing around. But you'll see it's writing and there's a little square. I can stop it and then I can come back here and update it. Make it read like something Yoda would write. So you see I stopped it, added instructions. I do that because it keeps the conversation shorter. And here we go. So this is some fun. This is where you can play around. The whole point of the digital dojo, especially the white belt, is you need to learn to play. If you take it too seriously, you're not going to learn what you need to learn. You're going to be stressed about it. This should feel like play. If it doesn't feel like play, I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong. Yes, in the yellow belt, we start to get serious and I show you how to integrate. But for the white belt, it should be play. So play around with the voice, play around with who you are. And then I would also recommend, let's say you've got some documents you've written, some standard templates, what have you. Feel free to upload. And again, don't upload anything that's private or confidential. But you can upload it from your hard drive or from Google Drive. Play around with the deep research, play around with creating images. Agent mode is advanced. You don't need to worry about that. Sources is too advanced. Don't worry about that. But you can use the study and learn. You can use the web search, play with Canvas, but really experiment and click on things and find out what's where. So up here, you can archive this conversation. Anything archived, you can search and find later. If you find something offensive, let's say it all of a sudden starts spewing hate, you can report the conversation or you can delete it. And then the last thing is if you enabled all the models, I have it set to auto. I always use the most recent version because I figure it's best practices to stay current. But the current model, GPT-5, you can make it instant so it's quick, or you can make it think fast but less, or you can make it deep think. And if you want, you can get into the legacy models. A lot of people love GPT-4o. Personally, I'm indifferent, and I've learned to work with all models. So it's entirely up to you. So that is the White Belt program, and I would love to hear your questions, comments, thoughts, share, and this is how we all learn. And I can't stress this. This is your foundation. Do not rush this. Do not skip this. This is where you learn how to learn. So I look forward to your comments and questions, and welcome to the Pharos Digital Dojo.